Welcome to another edition of Biro Sports Talk. I'm your host, Biro, and as always, I've shared the video. I've done a lot of different things with the video, and like we always do, try to get in a little early. So we are starting early, day early, uh, due to Thanksgiving. We'll do the same thing for Christmas, just so everyone's aware. So let's be honest. It is a Thanksgiving that we are all going to remember. With limitations in my home state, and I'm sure states across the nation, it's not one that we're going to forget anytime soon. For those trying to keep track of the pick'ems at home, week 10 I was 8-6, week 11 I was 7-7, so now overall I am 96-52. Right about now is when you start seeing the 500 scores. We'll see how everything else plays out. Oh, that's interesting. Sorry, just something I saw that was interesting. So, let's talk about this week. So this week in the NFL, we have a lot of interesting, good games. Now, first up, of course, Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a helmet with our logo. What? Anyways. So instead of the three Thursday games, we do have one postponed to Sunday already. Baltimore at Pittsburgh is postponed. But we will read them as if that hasn't happened. So let's go ahead and dive into these picks so we can talk about them. First up, of course, Houston at Detroit. I have Houston. Houston can win this. They surprised me a few times already with some of these picks. I think they get this one. Washington at Dallas. I think Dallas gets this. Andy Dalton's back. I think Dalton being the quarterback helps a little bit for a playoff push. It's interesting that I say that because that Andy Dalton's had a terrible playoff record, but I do think he helps in the long run for Dallas for this season. The game that got moved to Sunday we'll start off with Baltimore, Pittsburgh. I got Pittsburgh, man. Something's happening there. It's really hard. No one's been able to beat them so far, and Baltimore's falling apart. Baltimore is out two starting quality running backs right now, so come on. I just don't see Baltimore being ready for this even after the postponement. But the games that were scheduled for Sunday. So you got Las Vegas at Atlanta. I think the Raiders win this. Chargers at Buffalo. I think Buffalo wins it. Giants at Cincinnati. I think the Giants win. Now, the interesting story I did get is about the Bengals. The Bengals will be starting Brandon Allen instead of Ryan Finley. I find that very interesting. And yeah, I think Brandon Allen's going to do a lot better than Ryan Finley. But I do see the Giants winning over the Bengals. Now, Giants, we just said that. Tennessee Titans at Indianapolis Colts. Now, I have the Colts winning. Now, you may be wondering why. Besides the Colts being at home, the Colts, they can win any game. They're surprisingly doing very good. Well, very well for themselves. And I think the Colts with Rivers are never out of any game. Carolina at Minnesota. Minnesota could win this game. They really could. I got Carolina. I think Carolina can win this, and I think they'll do it probably in a last-second fashion. Next, I got Arizona at New England, and I'm going to Arizona only because New England is so hard to pinpoint. Every time they win, I seem to pick them to lose. Every time they lose, I pick them to win. So we'll have them lose to the Cardinals, and we'll see what happens. The Dolphins are at the Jets. Automatic Dolphins are the pick. I just don't see the Jets doing it. And I'm trying to think what team allows the Jets a win. Got Cleveland at Jacksonville. Going Cleveland. New Orleans at Denver. I really wanted to pick Denver, but I think the Saints are just too good. 49ers at Rams. I'm going Rams. Chiefs at the Buccaneers. I'm going Chiefs. Chicago at Green Bay. You know I did not go homer on this pick. I went Green Bay. I really want Chicago to win it. But it's Aaron Rodgers at Green Bay. If it was at Chicago, I might have leaned the other way. But for the sake that it's at Green Bay, I'm picking Green Bay. Monday night, you got Seattle at Philadelphia. I'm going Seattle because Philadelphia just falling apart at the seams. Some sad news, though. Diego Maradona, one of the legends of Argentina soccer, passed away. Cowboys strength coach Marcus Paul, at 54, also passed away today. Some other interesting tidbits besides the Allen for Biro replacement. Saban tested positive and will be out for the Auburn game. That's big. Dwight Howard willing to do whatever Sixers ask to win. And the biggest news that should be coming out of today, especially for me, because everyone knows how much I love basketball. Let's just say it what it is. Today is like a holiday to me. Basketball is in the air. I know the Bobcats are winning right now. I'm pretty sure the Buckeyes won. Michigan State's up. I mean, you just got all these teams playing today. It's going to be interesting. I don't know what to expect for college basketball. I know college football's brought us a lot of interesting topics. We're about to go into that after we talk college basketball. But like Duke's already canceled a game. Ohio State threatened to cancel this game, but luckily no one tested positive. One I saw that was interesting to me was Bowling Green was pretty close to Michigan. 96-82, that's a 14-point loss, but they stuck with them, man. They scored, and they just stuck with them. However, Michigan won, of course. And there's a lot more games to be played. Some other canceled games, though, were like Baylor, Arizona State, Tennessee, Charlotte, Oregon, Eastern Washington. Besides, of course, Duke, Gardner-Webb. Oh, man. Try not to yawn into the mic, but here I did it anyways. All right. So, with college basketball going on, of course, that's my thing. I love college basketball. But let's talk some college football. What do we have to say about these first initial rankings? I hate And I mean it. I hate that BYU's ranked so low. 14 in the initial college football rankings is like a slap in the face. And you got to think the reason they're not playing high level competition is because of the virus. A lot of these games are replacement games for BYU. But I think it's just flat out disrespectful that they're behind a Iowa State, an Oklahoma, a Georgia, two lost teams. Like I could understand putting BYU behind like in Indiana, a Miami, a Northwestern, Cincinnati, Florida, Texas A&M. I get it. The one loss teams. But man, it's just disrespectful. And BYU's doing everything they can. I mean, in a year of uncertainty, everyone's basically egging them to play Cincinnati right now. I mean, that would be a great option, honestly. But I know these teams can schedule on the fly this year. I just don't see it happening. I know Washington tried to play BYU, but BYU said we want to see where we're ranked first. Was the rumor. But the thing is, BYU also would have to go to Washington. That's kind of not fair either. But I'm looking at this. You got Alabama 1, Notre Dame 2, Clemson 3. I thought that was interesting. And then Ohio State 4. Ohio State's ranking is all bias. And I say bias because they played terrible against Indiana in the second half. It is what it is. But Ohio State's more of a 3. And I think the committee knows that. Ohio State knows that. They just got to play. And we'll see how that plays out then. I mean, Cincinnati's doing everything they can right now. The fact that Texas A&M, who hasn't played in 2 weeks, and of course you got Florida right there, all waiting to come into the college football Final Four. I don't like Georgia at 9. I think Northwestern at 8 is fair. Miami at 10 is fair. Oklahoma at 11 might be high. I'm okay with Indiana. Iowa State's kind of high. BYU's disrespectful. Oregon's only played 3 games, but I think they're really low as well. USC's low. Wisconsin's kind of okay where they're at. Texas is okay where they're at. North Carolina's probably okay where they're at. And then you got your Coastal, your Marshalls, who are undefeated. But they're all the way in the 20s right now. And they're probably going to end up in the same region as BYU when all's said and done. And then you got Auburn, Oklahoma State, Iowa, Tulsa. I find it interesting how disrespectful this is to BYU. Granted, BYU hasn't played anybody. They haven't. I mean, they played Boise. Boise was like the big one. Oh, yeah, I totally clicked Northwestern when my finger was on BYU. Please go back to the college rankings, please. There we go. My thumb. Oh my goodness, it just clicks whatever it feels like clicking on. It has yet to click the actual team I clicked on, which is hilarious to me. There we go. All right. So, for a makeshift schedule this year, they played Navy, postponed Army. They played Troy, played Louisiana Tech, Texas, San Antonio, who they barely beat, Houston, Texas State, Western Kentucky. Boise was the big one, of course. Is that Arizona? I think that's Arizona, Northern Arizona. And, of course, San Diego State, December 12th. Oh. Sorry. I mean, it's not a bad schedule, but it's definitely weak compared to others. It's just, it is. There we go. Officially, OU beat Chicago. Man. So we're going to look at some score or games this week for college football. Because these rankings, like I said, there's a lot of disrespect thrown towards BYU. We all know that. But some of these games this week help clear out some teams like Iowa State, Texas. That clears out probably Iowa State. Notre Dame plays North Carolina, which will be interesting. Ohio State plays Illinois. Florida plays Kentucky. I'm trying to find Indiana versus Maryland will be an interesting game. Maryland, an interesting team in general as well. Excuse me. Auburn, Alabama, of course, is going to be a big one. Clemson, Pitt. Keep an eye on that. Pitt always seems to bring it against them. But as I'm looking at one game that was canceled, Cincinnati Temple. That was Temple just not doing good this year. Probably why they canceled. Let's see. Postponed Oklahoma, West Virginia. Canceled Minnesota, Wisconsin. Excuse me. And postponement for Tulsa, Houston. So, man, I'm looking at this already. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 ranked teams you can schedule right now if you're BYU. On the dot, let's do it. BYU. I would do it because their slogan is anywhere, anytime, any place. We'll play anyone. So we'll see how that plays out. Oh, sorry. Oh. But let's see. We're 20 minutes in. Only 16 minutes of normal time because we did start early. We did. But Thanksgiving is tomorrow. One of the reasons why the show's on now. Because, it's all about getting the show going. So, what I'll say. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. I know in these times it's going to be very different. I know for my family it's going to be different this year. And I know for many other families it's going to be very different. Hopefully everyone will have a very happy Thanksgiving. I hope you all spend time with your family, maybe some friends, loved ones. And let's celebrate Thanksgiving tomorrow and be happy. One final note. Men's college basketball Final Four picks ESPN has listed. Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to look. I don't see. There we go. So here's their Final Four predictions for this year. Metcalf, believes Gonzaga, Villanova, Iowa, Baylor. Let's see if I can get a first name. Myron Medcalf. Jeff Borzello. I think I said that right. Borzello? Yeah. Baylor, Villanova, Gonzaga, Illinois. Gossaway, Baylor, Duke, Villanova, Wisconsin. Lenardi says Baylor, Gonzaga, Kentucky, Creighton as an interesting pick. The superlatives, so like player of the year, newcomer of the year, were pretty unanimous. They all like Luka Garza and Cade Cunningham for the newcomer of the year. Luka Garza, the player of the year. So there you have it. Closing thoughts. Give this page a share. If you're on Twitch, give it a watch. Who knows? Maybe we'll do some more Twitch videos here coming up this week. Don't know. We need consistency at 3 before we have more videos on Twitch. Just throwing that out there. If we want to be affiliates, we got to have that. So, thank you, and I will see you all next time. And next week, it should be normal time, Thursday, 7 p.m.